Hi, and welcome back to the Agent Lead Generation Summit. I'm your host, Mike Cerrone of MastermindAgent.com. In this session, we talk to Craig Hartranft with Prudential Home Sale Services Group in Lancaster, Pennsylvania. He's been an agent for 24 years. Craig sold 294 homes or $61 million last year. He operates a team with 12 members. I'm honored to have Craig with us today. Welcome to the call, Craig.
Well, thank you for having me, Mike.
Craig, it's great to have you. Thank you so much for helping us out today. Let's jump right in. Please answer the following question in detail. What is your number one best lead generation method in today's market?
Our number one best lead generating is past clients and past client referrals. That was our number one source. It was 21% of our business last year.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, I can't wait to hear about it.
Well, be more than happy to share some time here with you and review some of the things we do.
Cool.
First thing we do is we have a system in place. When after we settle, we'll have the realtors, the buyer's agents, and the listings agents, and myself go over a checklist afterwards to make sure we can identify the clients that we do want to stay in touch with. If you look at the screen, you're going to see our post-settlement checklist. When we go to settlement, this is the first one we'll look at after settlement takes place. And you'll see highlighted where we put their new address, should the seller be on mass mailing, and the buyer has the same similar type of sheet. So if we want to continue staying in touch with that client, we just circle yes. And then if there's another client involved, we put that information and elect if we want to send to them also. So we're just not staying in touch with our past clients. We're staying in touch with the co-op clients if we feel they will not follow up.
Wow. Well, I have a couple quick questions there. First one, you mentioned that back on that last form, there you go. So should the seller be on the mass mailing? And that's your question. Is there ever a time where you choose not to have them on the mass mailing, or why would they go on or not go on your mass mailing list?
That's correct. For example, if someone is leaving the area and we don't think they're going to be relocating back, we will not stay in touch and send mailers out to them. And you'll see a little later, some of the mailings we send out to our past clients are to local vendors, and we know those folks will not stay in touch with them.
Ah, very good. And then how often do you pick up the co-op buyer on the other side after the closing, put them on your list and start marketing to them? Do you do that all the time, or is there a selection process there?
There is a selection process. Depends on the location of the property, and also depends on the relationship that client has with their realtor. If it's a realtor I respect in the community, I know they will follow up. I typically won't put them on it. If I know it's a realtor that's getting out of the business or has poor follow-up skills, then we will include them.
That's great. So you're deciding right here at the closing to put them into your follow-up program as a past client.
That's correct.
And then you're going to have a whole system that you're going to show us of what happens after that.
Yes. After we come back to the office, one of our staff will process this, and you'll see we use a program called Agent Office. Some people use Top Producer. Some people use Realty Juggler. I think all those programs have that. In this particular case, you'll see we have a plan already set that we call our 5-year plan with our seller. And so we will launch that. And also there's another spot on the program where we put mass mailing. So the plan that's launched will remind us to stay in touch with those people every 6 months. 6 months after settlement, and then every year after that on their settlement anniversary. So we don't have to worry, it will automatically come up on our calendar. And you'll see that in the lower part. Can you see my cursor?
I can.
Okay, so right here, we check in a couple days after settlement, see how settlement went. We check in 6 months, see how everything's going. And then we have 1 year, 2 year, and it goes out to 5 years. And our 5th year will give us an option if we want to extend that.
Okay, very good. So these are phone calls And so you're doing those every 6 months until you hit a year, and then every year at a minimum. And then I assume you're doing other things, but that at least puts the phone calls into place.
Yes. And this other slide is here's more of a detail of the plan where we can have the agent that was dealing with that client directly reach out to them. I'll reach out to them also. So they're just not hearing from me. They are hearing from their buyer's agent or their listing agent they dealt with. So you'll see an example of what we're doing here with the follow-up with our buyer's agents.
Oh, I see. So it's assigned over there on the right to different people on your team to give them a call or take action. So call or mail. All these different activities are occurring by the whole team, not just by you.
Yes, and we're also sending mailers. And ironically, I delegate this, and we have systems. I forgot all about the letters that go out. So there are letters, if you take notice here, mail, that will go out, and we'll just, I think it was David Beeson letters we used. And so there will be letters going out every 6 months also to our clients, and that's in that checklist here.
Great. So they're getting calls and they're getting letters at this point. And so every 6 months, I was looking for overlap, but it looks like it's kind of a lot there at the very beginning, 2 days, 4 days, 30 days, 1 month, 60 days, and then it kind of goes to every 6 months they're going to at least get something, a call or mail, and then you even have stuff on top of this, but this is just in this one system for follow-up.
Correct. And then here's an example of the listing side, what we do there too with the follow-up here. And so, for example, this is a seller I may have dealt with, so I'll be staying in touch with them. And there, if I'm the listing agent, I'll stay in touch with them once a year on their anniversary date. And later on in the slide, you'll see I'll stay in touch with them on their birthdays also.
When you make that call on the anniversary date, how does that script go?
For example, I'll call, and Mike, if you're the person answering, hello, is this Mike?
Yeah, this is Mike.
Hi, Mike. This is Craig Hartranft calling with the Craig Hartranft team. How are you doing today?
Oh, I'm doing great. Thanks for calling, Craig.
Well, my pleasure. We always like to stay in touch with our past clients, and believe it or not, this year, it's been a year now since you purchased your home. Just wanted to make sure everything's going well.
I hadn't really realized it had been a year. It flies so fast. And, yeah, everything's going great.
Well, did you have any questions arise since the year? For example, any questions regarding your mortgage, just general real estate questions, values, or anything like that I can answer for you?
I've noticed in the area it seems like values are picking up again. Is that true?
Yeah, it's looking positive finally, and we're starting to taper upwards. We don't have no percentages yet, but we're really looking forward to this year, 2014.
Oh, fantastic.
Keep in mind, Mike, again, we helped you a year ago, but we've considered you a client for life. If you have any questions down the road, feel free to contact us. I saw you used our moving van when you settled. Keep in mind, you can use that moving van down the road. We have people 2 or 3 years afterwards come to us and ask if they can use a moving van because they're teenagers going to college or if you're getting rid of a piece of furniture. So keep that in mind if you need the moving van.
Oh, I am glad you mentioned that. Yeah, I actually have a boy that's moving from one apartment to the other. That might be helpful.
Well, feel free to contact. If it's available that day, you can use it anytime. By the way, do you know of anyone that's thinking about buying or selling here that we could help out like we helped you?
Wow, that's a good question. I don't think, well, you know what? I think that's, Sam Johnson up at the office. He was mentioning that the other day. He and his wife are thinking about downsizing. His kids just moved out of the house.
Well, we would love to help Sam like we helped you. Do you have his phone number that we could contact him and introduce ourselves?
Yeah. Let me look that up for you.
Great.
Yeah, 555-555-5555.
Well, I appreciate that. When, with your permission, when I contact him, do you mind if I mentioned that you and I were talking?
Oh, that'd be great. Yeah, Sam's a good guy. I think you guys will get along really well, and you did such a great job for us. I'd be happy to mention it to. In fact, I'll mention it to him when I see him later today in the office.
Well, Mike, I really appreciate that. Referrals are a key part of our success, and this means a lot to us. And I'll follow up with you also after I make contact with him and just let you know how things work out. But again, we'll continue to stay in touch. If you ever have any general questions, don't hesitate to give us a call anytime.
Cool. Well, thanks, Craig. Thanks for calling.
Have a great day.
Okay, bye.
So that's typically how it will go. Now, if we did get a referral, I will write a thank you note right there on the spot. Make sure that goes into the mail just as a follow-up. I'll put in my schedule with Sam. That wasn't Sam. Sam was who you referred me to. If Mike, you were in my contact management, I would follow up with you in a week just to let you know how my conversation was with Sam. And then I would follow up with you probably 2 to 3 months out and let you know if I did settle with Sam, and then send you a gift certificate and thanking you for that referral again. I think it's very, very crucial if you get a referral to make sure you're staying in touch with that person that referred you and explain to them the process how everything is going.
That's great. And so you would immediately start putting that all into your contact management system. I think you was it Online Agent or Agent Office?
Yep, Agent Office.
Agent Office. And that's great. Thanks, Craig, for walking us through that and that script.
Well, another thing we do with our clients is at settlement, immediately after settlement, what we will do is make a copy of their HUD-1. And you see on the screen here we have a standard letter that goes out, and we have the date January 15th. And now for next year, we'll say 2015. We will go ahead, prepare that letter. I'll sign that letter. We'll fold the HUD-1, put it in an envelope, stamp the envelope. So we put it into another file, so when January 15th of the next year comes, what we will do, we'll just mail the letters so that we're not overwhelmed with 300 letters to be going and looking for HUD-1s. This past year, I actually got a call, I think it was like January 21st or 22nd after this letter came out, and the gentleman just came and called me and just wanted to reconfirm what he shared with us before, saying he had 5 or 6 real estate transactions in the past, and he never had a realtor follow up like we did, and just wanted to say thank you so much for thinking of us with this HUD-1. And he just kept on raving and raving about just this particular item. And again, that gave me the opportunity to ask for referrals when he called back.
Sure. And you're preparing these while you're doing the closing process, so it's not like, as you said, you're not rushing in January to put them all together. They're already there and ready to go out.
We learned the hard way. The first year we did that, and it was very overwhelming when you're trying to get all these out when the idea comes, and you have over 200 of these trying to do. Yes, so we do them right after settlement now.
And the people need this, your past clients need this for their taxes, right?
Yes. A lot of times they'll misplace it. And this gentleman had it. He even told me, he says, Craig, I had it, but I was still so impressed how you followed up with us. He says, we were so impressed with your team's communication through the process, and you're still continuing to do this even after we settled with you. Still, he had a copy of his HUD, but it still was a wow factor for him.
Sure. And worst case, it's another touch.
Yes. And that's what it's about, just trying to stay in touch with them as much as possible. We'll write a thank you note also after settlement, and a survey will go out to them after settlement. I think that's very, very important. They know we care. And again, if they have some constructive criticism, we want to hear about it. So there's many reasons why we do this. So we'll, again, send this letter out with the survey. They send that survey back to us. I will share that with the staff in front of them, sharing with the feedback. If there is any constructive criticism, I will follow up with the client by phone call and thanking them for the constructive criticism, and just try to find out exactly what took place and what we could learn from it. Plus, I've learned now, being a leader, there's always two sides of a story. So again, I want to hear what the consumer has to say. Then I want to find out on our team, the people that dealt with the client. Howard Britton shared with me a number of years ago, he said, attack the system and don't attack the person. So if we ever have something come back on a survey, we'll look at the system immediately to see if there was a breakdown in the system. And if there wasn't a breakdown in the system, then we will see why that person failed to follow through the system. So this survey is very valuable.
Very good. Now, when you send this survey out, how many of them do you get back? Does everybody return it, or half the people?
I would say probably 2/3.
Wow, that's really good.
Yeah. So we've been very happy with the feedback on it. And again, we use these surveys. We'll make copies of these surveys, and we'll include them in our pre-listing packages, or we'll include them in our buyer packets when we send them out to potential clients.
Well, I'm assuming you get a lot of good constructive feedback from that, where you could, as you said, adjust your systems here and there. Also, it looks like maybe at the bottom you have a space for them to make a long comment. Do you end up with testimonials down in that section?
Yes, we do. And then we'll take those testimonials and publish them into other materials. And love the different personalities of folks. Some people will type out a separate sheet with their comments, praising our team. So yes, there's a space there. I'd say probably 1/3 will fill out the comments.
And as you mentioned, then you take those testimonials and you put them into your marketing pieces, which is the strongest thing you can do in any marketing, is a testimonial from a happy, satisfied customer.
Yeah, and key thing to keep in mind, when you're sending that information out, make sure it's recent. Sometimes people have a pre-listing package or a buyer package they give out to their clients, and they forget to check the material every 3 months. And so what we do is on a monthly basis, we try to update those surveys so we don't have surveys from 2 years ago. We would love to have surveys just the last 3 to 6 months. And we're sharing that with our clients when we're meeting with them, saying, here's some testimonials. If you take notice, these are testimonials from recent clients. We're not digging back 2 or 3 years just trying to cherry pick feedback. I think that does carry a lot of weight when you're sharing that with the consumer.
Sure. So you're positioning it to your advantage. You're showing how you're different than your competition. You're getting recent testimonials.
Correct. And with the volume we're doing, sometimes we'll have close to 10, 15 recent testimonials. We'll put in probably between 10 to 15 of them in the packet, and those 10 to 15 are just within the past month or two. So we're not using a year's worth.
When you put them in the packet, are you just making a copy of this entire review sheet, or are you pulling them out and putting them on a testimonial page?
No, we're actually making a copy of the survey. So we'll have, like, if we're including a dozen, we'll have 12 pages.
Oh, that's great. So it's probably often in the handwriting of your customers, so it's even more authentic.
Yes, that's correct.
Very nice. That's a great idea.
And then another follow-up we do is the birthday. With the birthday, I'll go back here. We use our program, Agent Office, and you can put in there the birthday of the client, and it can remind you a couple days prior or remind you the day of the birthday. And I'm very disciplined with that. Even when I'm away on vacation, if there's a couple birthday calls I can contact, I'll still call them while I'm on vacation. I think it's just a nice personal touch. And usually I'll get a voicemail, so I'll just, like, it's John Doe, I'll say, hello, John Doe, this is Craig Hartranft calling from the Craig Hartranft team. Always like to stay in touch. I took notes today on my calendar. It's your birthday, and just wanted to take the time out and just wish you a happy birthday. I hope you have a special day, and I wish you the best here in 2014. Please tell your wife, Jane, I said hello. Again, I hope everything's going well. If you ever know if someone is thinking about buying or selling, please feel free to contact us. And again, I hope you have a special day on your birthday. Take care. And that's the message I'll leave for a birthday call.
Wow, that's quick and clean. It's genuine. You're showing that you care. Sounds like you're making that, or you're trying to make that on the actual birthday. Is that right?
Yes, I try doing the birthday. Now, if it's over the weekend, what I'll do is I'll call the Friday before the weekend and leave message, say, I see it's your birthday coming up. I just wanted to call you. And if I miss one, I'll call them a day or two late. So, you know what, I apologize. I was out of the office. I didn't have my calendar in front of me. I saw it was your birthday. I still was thinking of you. I just wanted to wish you a belated happy birthday. So, again, if you miss it, still call them. It's probably even going to have an extra meaning that you reached out to them, that you were thinking of them.
By doing birthday, if you have a couple, you're going to then make 2 phone calls in the year?
Yes, that's correct.
Do you also call on the kids' birthdays or send out a card or do anything like that?
We used to, and then it just got so overwhelming, so I have stopped doing the birthdays. I think some of my buyers' agents may do that, but I personally don't, but that is a great idea that if you don't have that many clients, but it just got overwhelming with thousands of clients we had, that I stopped doing the children's birthday.
Do you send out a card or an email in addition to the call or just the call?
Just the phone call. Just the phone call.
You mentioned most of the time you get voicemail. What percentage of the time you think you get voicemail versus talking on the phone when you're making these calls?
Well, I'm making these phone calls typically between 11 o'clock and 2 o'clock in the afternoon. So I would say it's probably 50-50. 50% I'll get, another 50 I won't. And here's an example of how meaningful this is for people. I had people come up to my wife at restaurants. We'll be sitting there and say, I just want to let you know about Craig. He calls me on my birthday every year. He's been calling me for the last 15 years. And just recently, one of those folks has said that, and they came up to my wife and said it was like 7 years. Well, they called me last year to sell their home. And it works, especially the elderly. They just love it. And even if I sold a house for an 80-year-old and they moved into a retirement community, I'm still staying in touch with them. It's just that personal touch. I think I'm making their day. They remembered. And if they can refer me to a family member, great. But really, I just stay in touch because I think I'm going to make their day that someone thought of them on their birthday.
It seems to go back to this idea that you're building relationships with people. You know, who do you call on their birthday? You call your family and your friends, and now you've put these folks, these past clients, into that category where they've kind of moved into your friend category. That's what friends do. They call each other on their birthday.
Well, when they hear from me, when I say hello, they start laughing. They know what it is.
They've been trained.
Yes. So some of the ongoing jokes sometimes with some of these clients.
That's great.
Well, the next item we do here is handwritten notes. We feel that's very important. We have just started increasing that, and my lead buyer specialist, he's been with me since 1996. His name is Jim McPhail. He's been to conferences with me and heard Bob Wolf talk about personal notes and other top realtors throughout the country, and we felt we were always too busy for handwritten notes. So what we decided here the past year would be we printed up our list of our past clients. And then what we did, we gave that list to our staff. Then when our staff is slow, they will go ahead and write a handwritten note and send that on our behalf. We started that probably a year ago, and their goal is each staff person is going to do 3 handwritten notes a day, and that has just been working out tremendously to our clients.
Well, what do they say in these notes?
Well, you'll see here on the screen, we always like to stay in touch with our past clients. Just wanted to drop a note to you, say hello, and let you know if you ever we're thinking of you and hope your family's doing well. And then another one we may just tweak a little bit, just asking if they ever know someone that's thinking about buying or selling, or if they have any general real estate questions. It's very simple, but it's just staying in touch with the clients.
Okay, so it's not something specific like a saw article in the paper you might be interested in, or interest rates went up or down, or anything about the market. It's more on this personal level of, hey, just want to stay in touch.
Correct, correct. Now, I remember when I first got into the business, this lady, bless her heart, she's retired, but I remember my first 6 months in the business, and I'd be here at the office late, and she's there, and she was the top producing agent at that time, and what she was doing is handwritten notes, and she had these newspaper articles of a promotion at work or saw their child in the newspaper for something, and she really had a personal touch. So it really depends on your personality and what type of systems you have in place. You can use a variety of different ways of doing this.
I'm noticing on the envelope that you're sending out, it has your return name up there at the top, but down at the bottom it says a note for you. Is that the notepad or is that the envelope?
That's actually the notepad. It's folded. So when they open it up, they open it to the message.
Okay, so it's kind of like a greeting card. Was it opening up?
Yep.
Okay, and so then the message is inside. That's nice. That's a nice touch. And then you just put it in a business envelope, or do you put it in like a plain white envelope and hand address it?
We put in a business envelope.
Oh, that's great. Do you drop a card in with it?
Yeah, we'll put 2 cards in with it. Now, when I say business envelope, we're handwriting the address, and we're using a stamp. So we're not metering it. We're not writing it, typing it out, or anything like that. We're trying to still do a personal touch when we're sending it out.
Okay. But it's your company return address up in the left-hand side, and it probably is already pre-printed, and you're just handwriting in the customer's address, the past client's address.
Correct. Yep.
Okay, great.
The next slide here, 19, oh my goodness, probably in the late 1990s, early 2000. I got into business in 1989, and it was horrible. I did not stay in touch with any past clients for the first 7 years. I didn't have systems. It just wasn't good. And finally, just listening to enough people, and I had some good staff people to help me get organized and have systems. We started staying in touch with past clients and putting on a system. And throughout the years, we just added different follow-ups. And we probably started doing this probably 5 years ago. We have a postcard drawing, and we'll do that every 2 months, probably around 6 times a year. And we'll use movie tickets one time, special gifts, cards, digital camera, iPod Touch, dinner gift cards, baseball tickets. And a couple of reasons why we're doing that, and you're going to see in the next slide, for them to apply for this drawing, they have to fill out their information, and you'll see this drawing entry form, their name, address, phone number, cell phone, and email. So what we're doing is we're getting an update on their information if they have a new cell phone, or if we didn't have an email back in the 90s when we sold them a house. So they're sending that back to us. So we're sending that to our past clients and staying in touch with them that way also. We get a very good response. When I say very good response, we probably have close to 30%, 25 to 30% will respond to these drawings.
Wow. So you're keeping a quarter of your list engaged every 60 days.
Yep, every 60 days we're sending something out like that. And then when we do have the drawing, we have a little bit of fun here at the office. They may respond by email, or they'll respond by drawing, bringing this back to us, this entry form, and we'll go around to the office and we'll just throw it into a large pile, and everyone takes 2 or 3, and then we throw them back in the pile, and then finally I have a staff member pick the winner, and then we have a good time sharing with the people that they won the drawing.
Oh, that's great. Well, I'm looking at a couple of these, and it looks like you're setting it up for a family pack, a group. You have like 4 tickets to Hershey Parks, or a dinner and a movie for 4. It's kind of like you're setting up for a family gift. Also got the pictures. Are you purchasing these gifts, or are you going to the vendors and asking them to supply you with the gift?
We are purchasing those gifts. We are purchasing those gifts.
Do you end up doing the same gift every other couple of months or so? For instance, do you do the dinner and a movie, every 6 months you kind of rotate it in and out? And after a while, it seems like you might run out of ideas.
Sometimes we'll go back with the same idea, but we try to be original, but sometimes it's hard to do that. Like Hershey Park is only 30 minutes from our market area, so that's a popular destination. So we'll do that probably once a year. Just recently, there were we provided a ski trip, a package in the local area. So it depends on the season. But we try to hit all different folks. The retired folks will try to send something that they would appreciate. We'll do it with the family. So we try to be diversified.
Okay, and then you have deadlines. They have to get this response back to you. As you mentioned, they can send it back by mail or email it in to you. How soon before the drawing are you putting the card out? So how long, you put it out on day X. How long before you do the drawing? Is it a couple weeks, 30 days?
It would be between 45 to 60 days. I'd probably say an average of 45 days.
So they'll have plenty of time to get it back in.
Yep.
And these are all they're all hard mail going out. Do you do email too, or just the hard mail?
We just do the hard mail. We're starting to increase our Facebook presence, so we may publicize it on our Facebook page also. And then when there is a winner, we do ask them to come into our office, and then what I will do is get a picture taken with them, showing them, presenting them the gift. And then we will post their picture on the Facebook page, sharing that they were the most recent winner. So we want people to know it's a real thing, that there are people actually winning.
Yeah, that's really smart. Are you also taking this photo of the winner and, say, putting it on the back of the next card that you send out and say, this was the winner from last month?
We've done that. I don't know if we do that every time, but we have done that in the past. So I'd have to double check with my my staff. But again, the listeners here, I would highly recommend that.
Yeah, that's cool. That's great. So it sounds like this is your biggest promotion that you do for your past clients is simply having this raffle and getting it out there and getting people interacting with you and excited about the gift or the item that they can win. That sounds pretty smart.
Yeah, and they're very appreciative. They're very appreciative. And it's another way to update their information, another way to stay in touch, because we put in our agent office when they apply. So I know the folks that apply for every drawing. I know which drawing they, if it's not every time, I know how recent. So it's another way to refer to it in our conversation, saying, I saw you enter our drawing last month, and then that gets them to talk about how they appreciate it. So it's another way just to stay in touch.
And you mentioned that you're getting about 25-30% response back. Is it always the same 25 to 30% of your list, or does it kind of rotate through your list and pick up a bigger group?
It depends on the group. Sometimes we'll have people that they only apply for the drawing once or twice a year, and then we have some that'll do every drawing. So it's very interesting to watch their pattern.
Sure. Can you recall what was your best giveaway, what everybody wanted and everybody responded to? Was there a certain item that stood out?
You know what? I don't. I would have to ask the staff. I just don't know which one. I guess the iTouch may have been a very popular one. We did digital camera. I try to stay with a budget anywhere from $100 to $300.
That's a good point. Okay, so you try to keep it under $300, and then you do a mail out. So really, this is actually a very low-cost promotion for you.
Yes, it is.
How long did you say you've been doing this?
I've been doing this the last 5 years.
And can you directly attribute transactions to this, or is it just more of the generic marketing that goes out and it ends up getting the result of 21%?
Yeah, it falls down to that 21%. And and that's just growing and growing. I'm very proud of our team. It's just not me staying in touch. Everything I've shown you is what I will do on behalf of the team. Well, we have our other agents. They'll take the initiative, and they'll do their own follow-up also. So they're getting it from the team, but they're getting it from the agents also. One of our agents sends 5 personalized postcards to their clients each year for 5 years, and then they have option to continue that. We have another agent. She will go and deliver gifts over the holidays to her most recent clients that settled. So again, it's just not me. They will actually take the initiative also over and beyond what we're doing.
That's great. And so that just adds to the success of the team.
Yeah, yeah. And then we keep track. When I shared with you about the 21%, here's a source since we, I think I go back 5 years or 8 years here, showing our different sources of business, and you'll see highlighted on the top is referrals from past clients, and then on the lower level are past clients of transactions. And you add those together, that was 21% of our business last year.
Wow. Wow, that's great. Yeah, so it is a good chunk of your business. And you mentioned these are referrals. Does that category also include repeats if they come back through and the person repeats and buys again or sells again with you?
Yeah, that's under past client. The past client is when someone's coming back and buying or selling a home again. And then referral past client up here is when they refer us to someone. So we have that broken down 2 different ways.
Very good. So it is both. So if I'm looking right, it looks to me to be about 62 transactions last year just from past clients and past client referrals.
Yep.
That's fantastic. That'd be a great year for anybody right there.
Oh, and that's our main goal. Our main goal is just to keep on increasing that each year. Something we're starting this year is we're even trying to focus more of a narrow group that's a proven that they have given us referrals in the past. And what we're trying to get narrowed down to 20 to 50, 25 to 50 past clients that we know have been multiple referrals to us, where we can try to find what their interests are and do a little more, give them more attention, because we know they have been giving us referrals in the past. We're in the middle of doing that. It's pretty tough right now. We're trying to trim that list down. So this is a work in progress, but this is what we're going to be sending out to them. We're going to be finding out more of their contact information, favorite things, if they're involved in charities that they want us to sponsor, items like that.
That's a great idea. So you're going to take out of the overall. By the way, how many people are in your past client database?
We have, on our mailers, we have around 2,000, and that's people that are getting these mailers. We have more than that for past clients, but again, if they're out of the area, we're staying in touch with them by phone, but we're not sending them mailers.
Okay. And so you're going to try to look in your database of 2,000 and weed down to 25 or 50 of the people that have been giving you the most referrals over the years. And well, I assume with your database that you've been keeping, that might not be too hard, and that you do track who gives you a referral?
Yes, we do.
So I assume that's where you started. You probably pulled them out, and so instead of 2,000, maybe you were down to a couple hundred, 300 people or so, I'm guessing?
Yes, we're down to 250. Now we need to trim it down to even further.
Okay. And my question would be this. Why trim it down to 250 or 25 if you've got 250 people who've been sending referrals? Why not just make your new group 250, the people that did in fact provide you with the referral?
We have to manage the cost because, and this is still in progress, we just really want to focus on those people to have a really more of a one-on-one personal relationship with them, staying in touch with them more, finding out, again, what their favorites are. So, again, if they're a golfer, we can invite them out to play golf, or if an article came up about golf, we can send that to them. So we're trying to get really detailed here and hone it in.
I like the idea. I was trying to think of what other criteria can you use. Do you know if someone, say, gave you 2 referrals or 3 referrals?
We'll have those documented correct.
So that might help narrow that list down to the really super fans, the raving fans that have been giving you not just one but multiple referrals, and then you can really start spoiling those people. I think this is a great idea.
Yeah, it's just starting out, so we'll see how that works out.
Cool. Well, I can't wait to get an update on that.
Well, so these are some of the things we have done to stay in touch with our past clients. I mentioned earlier we do have a moving van. We have had the moving van now for over 10 years, and that's been just a hit with the clients, where whenever they want to use it, a lot of times they'll use it during their move, but they'll call us back at a later time, or anytime we stay in touch, we bring the van up. I feel if you're offering something to them in return, you can then ask the question about asking for referrals. And it just gives us a great opportunity to lead in there. So again, the moving van's been another hit for us with our past clients.
Oh, that's a great point. So you use reciprocity. You give first, and then you hope something comes back as well, but you're always starting with the giving.
That's been very successful for us.
Very good. Very good. Well, Craig, I really appreciate you taking the time to talk with us today and present this awesome information. This has been great. Thank you so much for taking the time today.
Well, thanks for asking me, and hopefully your listeners out there can take some of these items and help them in their future marketing.
That's cool. Well, you know what? Why I'm thinking about it real quick, before I let you go, Craig, if somebody out there listening knows of someone that's moving to your area in Pennsylvania, could they send you a referral?
We would love that. They can contact us at 717-560-5051, or our email address is Craig, C-R-A-I-G-H, at realtor.com. Again, that's Craig H at realtor.com, or 717-560-5051.
Fantastic. Very good. Very good. Well, again, thank you so much for talking with us today, Craig.
Have a great day.